don't know if y'all are up to speed on this shit, but last week, what was it? Today the 13th, so 3 days ago was a hood day for the 60s. And Ceddy Nash thought it was a bright idea to bring Woody, the same dude that he himself exposed as a snitch to the motherfucking internet. And then he turned around and brought Woody to the 60s for their hood day. Now, I don't know if he, what the fuck he did that for, don't make a whole lot of sense, but that's where it's at. Because why would you, it don't make a lot of sense to me why a gang member will bring a known snitch, somebody that he exposed as a snitch, around his gang. Especially on a celebratory day, like a hood day. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was you bringing some meat for motherfuckers to eat? But even still with that, it's like, damn, what the fuck you doing there for? What? But dude gonna break it down. He gonna put a little paint where it ain't. Ceddy Nash, for anybody that don't know, Ceddy Nash is the YouTuber. He breaks down the trials, and he covers the Diddy case, the YSL case, all this different shit. He cover all the legalities and shit. Who snitching, who telling. It not so much in the same fashion as 1090 Jake, but it is adjacent to what he do. And they, according to me and according to Byron, he think the same. The motherfuckers operating the same, they operating on the same team. You know what I mean? So most people know about Ceddy Nash, not most people, but a lot of people who've heard about the discrepancies with Ceddy Nash, they know about the discrepancy where he was on the news, telling on somebody, and then he come back and say he was a crisis actor and shit like that. But a lot of people don't know about the situation where his brother shot at him, and he called the police on him, and he was in the car with the police riding around with the helicopter, like wild shit. It's like, so I say all that to say, yeah, the shit with him bringing Woody to the hood over there is an issue and all that shit. But man, with this as well, man, bro, this should be a deal breaker. You shouldn't even be allowed nowhere. Let's get into it, so y'all can kind of get where I'm going, why I'm saying this.
This off by saying, man, with the recent events that just went down in Vegas, I think it's important for me to say that I'm not beefing with nobody. I'm just bringing y'all the facts. And it's important for me, being who I am and having a voice on this platform, to clarify that. I don't want to set a bad example for somebody who may be thinking that this is a path to views or something like that. With that said, Ceddy Nash has responded again. And what I think he is attempting to do is point out flaws in this paperwork that would discredit not the authenticity, but the story. He's not challenging the paperwork. I'm clear it up. He's not saying that the paperwork is fake. He's saying that there are things in the paperwork that clear him of being a snitch or cooperating with the police. So today we're going to break that down. Now, what I'm about to do is play a clip from Ceddy. I'm going to let Ceddy tell y'all his version of things. This is why we're here today, because he put this out. So I'm going to let this clip run, let him explain whatever it is he's trying to explain, and then I'm going to break that down and show y'all why I feel like he really just trying to play on the intelligence of the audience. However many people he can convince, he just trying to convince those people and keep moving forward. But let's get into it. Here we go.
Right here is going to be the nail in the coffin. In their desperation to sit up here and try to say anything about Ceddy Nash, they fail to read. And I know they can't read, because if you look right here, right, it says reports were made of shots fired in the area. Officers located firearms inside of the vehicle that did not belong to any passenger of the car, which means fingerprints came through, ballistics came through, the plume effect came through, all of that stuff. There was never a shot fired from that vehicle. You idiots were so hyped and so desperate to try to fake get me out of here. You morons literally should have listened.
Now, I want y'all to look at this. This is the part that he is highlighted in circle, right?
I thought Ceddy was solid for the longest too, but then I ain't gonna lie. Maybe before this came out, over the last maybe 2-3 months, it was just certain way he was reporting on the content, or just certain ways he was reporting news. I was like, man, this is interesting. You know what I mean? And then this shit hit the fan. Yep. Like I said, I fucked with Ceddy Nash. I like this content. I like what he did, but hey, man, some shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, ain't pulling no punches.
The party just read out. Reports were made of shots fired. Officers located a gun that did not belong to anybody in the car. Now look directly above that. It says time and date of arrest. 23:30, which is 11:30 at night, 1/24/2014. Time and date of booking. 23:30, 11:30 at night, 1/24/2014. Hold on, let me get this on the screen for y'all clear. Look, there it go right there.
Big nose ass.
1/24/2014, right? This is the booking date. If you look at the bottom of that page, I circled it right here. It tells you the time and date of the report. 8/31, 1/25/2014, which is the following morning. So he was arrested and booked in at 11:30 that night, and this report was prepared the following morning. Based on that timeline, what Ceddy is attempting to tell us is that the fingerprints, the ballistics, all of this stuff got sent out to the lab and came back in 8 hours. Let me run this clip back for y'all one time. Listen to how sure he sounds.
Right here is going to be the nail in the coffin. In their desperation to sit up here and try to say anything about Ceddy Nash, they fail to read. And I know they can't read because if you look right here, right, it says reports were made of shots fired in the area. Officers located firearms inside of
That shit, that why you want us to look over here? We need to be looking right here. That's all the fucking motherfucker need to see.
The vehicle
right,
that did not
excuse me, right here. Name and age of the victim. Then to double down on that, what is the what they call it, case number, whatever the fuck you would file it under. That's the number that you need to look it up. That's all the fuck you need. Can you confirm that this exists? Is this an actual victim? Okay. Initially, that's all the motherfucker need right there. But then he gonna say some more shit that just verifies that the shit in this paperwork is true. The same shit that WEC 100 did when he was trying to explain how he wasn't in that how he wasn't CS2 back, but by trying to explain how he wasn't CS2 black, he only explained that he was inadvertently. It's the same shit.
Of the car, which means fingerprints came through, ballistics came through, the plume effect came through, all of that stuff. There was never a shot fired from that vehicle. You idiots were so hyped and so desperate to try to fake get me out of here. You morons literally should have listened.
And now I'm going to break down the timeline of events on this paperwork and using Ceddy's own words just to bring clarity to the situation so it's no confusion about what you seeing with regard to the dates and times on the paperwork, since I see he trying to play that game and manipulate everybody. Okay, now at 1756, which is 5:56, officers responded to Ford and Western Ave for a report of a vehicle passing by firing shots outside of a window. Now listen to Ceddy in his own words admit that after the officers responded to the scene, he got in the car with them and rode around with them while they were looking for the suspect vehicle.
What the fuck? Did y'all hear that shit? Ain't nothing to talk about. Ain't nothing else to talk about. What you mean? You sat up here and told us that you got motherfuckers shot at you. You are listed as the victim. It says, and then you're listed as the victim. The shit say that it was about motherfuckers shooting at you, and you get on this shit. Wait till y'all hear what he said. It was a joint investigation with him and the police.
They also had a helicopter out, but they also had Ceddy in the car riding around with them.
So it ends up happening. Cops say, get in the car. I'm thinking to myself like, oh, shit, nigga, I finna go to jail. But he don't put the cuffs on me. So I'm like, ooh. So then he pulls up to the exact spot that I was shooting at. He say, is this it right here? I'm like, shit. I'm like, yeah.
Now, my question for this would be, how did they get to the exact location where the shooting occurred? And if you were the shooter, why would you take them back to this place and say, yes, this is where the shooting occurred?
So the cop is told, hey, man, come down here. I'm in the back. I can hear it. He told, come down here. So he busts a right, he go down forward, pull to the left. There's a big ass vehicle that I did not remember. So it's a big, I think like an Expedition or something like that or anything like that. Car doors all open. It looks like, to my eyes, oh shit, niggas have stole the car and ran off. So I'm like, oh damn. So the cops say, hey, is this the vehicle? I'm like, I don't know.
What you just heard was Ceddy Nash admitting that he rode around with the police until the suspect vehicle was located. What I want you to pay attention to is this paperwork. Now, we've already broken down that the call was made at 17:56, which is 5:56, right? Shortly before 6 o'clock. The officers did not make contact with the suspects until 22:30, which is 10:30 that night. So Ceddy is admitting right here that he got in the vehicle with these police and rode around for hours looking for this suspect car. I also want y'all to know, here it is right here. They had a helicopter out looking for this car too. Look at the report number up there. It's the same report number from the Ceddy paperwork. They had a helicopter out looking for, while Ceddy was riding around in the police car for hours. Now, if you ever been to jail, you know the booking process is terrible. So while the report says that this incident happened on the 23rd and contact was made at 10:30 on the 23rd, Ceddy's brother wasn't actually booked into the county jail until 11:30 the next night. You see it right there. Time and date of booking, 11:30, 1/24/14. It says time and date of arrest because they usually don't consider you officially arrested until you booked in. Now, the reason this paperwork says that the firearm did not belong to anybody inside the vehicle is because nobody claimed it. So he's giving factual circumstances related to the arrest, not factual circumstances related to the disposition of the case. This report was made on the 25th, which is only 2 days basically after the original call was sent in. There's no way they got ballistics and stuff back that fast. But he's trying to twist the words here. So when you see this, the weapon did not belong to anybody in the car. They just saying that nobody in the car claimed it. With that said, he was arrested on the 23rd, went through that 24-hour booking process and got processed in on the 24th. And this report was prepared on the 25th. So everything that you see on this report was as of January 25th, 2014, less than 48 hours after the arrest for real, because this report was prepared at 8:30 in the morning. So that was, maybe 36 hours after the arrest. And there's no way that they got fingerprints, ballistics, and all of that stuff back in not even 36 hours, because they had to make it to the station. If he wasn't booked and processed until the 24th, then I'm pretty sure they didn't get none of that evidence registered in until then. They didn't get that stuff back in 8 hours. Nice try, Ceddy, but that's not how it goes. In any case, we've heard it out of your own mouth. You made the police report saying that you got shot at. You got in the car with the police and rode around, and you pulled up on a vehicle and said, I don't know if that's the vehicle. If you sending them on a wild goose chase, knowing that you did something, you just trying to throw them off, any car you pull up on, you supposed to be saying, no, that's not the car. No, that's not the car. You pull up on this car that matched the description of the car that you gave and say, I don't know if that's it. That might be it. Like, come on, bro. That's
police saying shit. The police. So the nerve of this motherfucker to get online and do a whole video explaining how you was in the police car and all this shit. How do you even come up with this whole, why would you even tell this story? That's crazy. Why would you even tell that? It'd be better to just tell the truth, man. You already did it that day. But yeah, so for a motherfucker, all this damning evidence, there's documents out here. On top of the documents, you got motherfuckers, he got him giving his own account to the shit. So it's just wild for a motherfucker for him to even be trying to debunk this shit in any capacity. You know what I mean? But that's why, and this is why I fuck with Byron Blake be on these motherfuckers' head. All these motherfuckers that you think that be fooling motherfuckers like they this or they that. You know what I mean? This real investigative journalist, if you dig what I'm saying. But we off of that.